Welcome, Facebook. It's Monica. I'm so excited to be with you guys tonight. I am hopping on and I give people a couple seconds to hop on. And then we are going to get started with tonight's topic. If you are here and you're joining me live and you're already here, make a comment so that I can see that you are here, because I actually can't see who's here unless you comment. I'm going to see if I can. So someone was just texting, "Hey, Tosh. Hey, just let me tell you, I love this girl. Actually, I'm going to talk about her a little bit tonight, but yeah. Hey, Tosh, thanks for joining me. Somebody was looking for the link, so I'm going to actually take a second and send it to him real quick. If you're here, go find your friends, go find your peoples, whoever it is, and tell them to join us now that we are live. So yes, do that. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you guys. It is 8:15, and so I like to try to start on time. So let's get ready to do that. See if I can send that link to someone, and then we're gonna hop on. Y'all know me. Doesn't matter how many people are on. I'm getting started. All right. So again, if you're joining me live, give me a thumbs up emoji. And if you are joining me for the replay, give me a wave. So Tasha, I know you're here even though you gave me a wave. So thank you for that anyway. But yeah, if you're here joining me live, give me a thumbs up. If you are joining me on the replay, give me a wave. And if you are part of the Flow Tribe, hashtag Flow Tribe in the comments for me so I can shout you out. So can you guys believe we have 63 days left in 2019? 63 days. It's like 2 months, like straight up. Hey, Tammy. Thanks for joining me, sis. Guys, this year has really, it's gone. It's pretty much gone. But it's all right, because we have 63 days to do some amazing work, to have an amazing impact in the lives of people that we're called to serve. We have 63 days to grow. In our through personal development, our spiritual development. We have 63 days that we can do something that we didn't do yesterday. 63 days for more opportunities, for more impact, as I said earlier. And so I'm serious, guys. Take the next 63 days and knock it out of the park. And I'm going to be here with you almost every week for the next 90 days so that we can or 63 days, so we can actually flow in our divine purpose and live the life that God has desired and designed for us to live. And so, hey, Sherry, thanks for joining me. So that's what we're going to be doing. And so, second thing I want to tell you, quick announcement. Saturday, if you are in the Delaware area, Saturday, I will be speaking for Live Him Ministries. They're having like a half-day conference. Starts at 3 o'clock in Georgetown, Delaware. I believe it's the Comfort Inn, I think, or Quality Inn. I can't remember. But hey, Missy, thanks for joining. If anybody's going on Saturday, can you type in the comment if it's Quality Inn or Comfort Inn? I don't remember. I'm sorry. But I know it's in Georgetown. And it's a hotel in Georgetown. And we're going to be having a half-day conference there. I'm going to be really talking and going deep on helping people understand the connection between our body, soul, and spirit, and how God uses that for us to really live a life that's designed, live a life that we are really living in a way that we're worshiping Him, not just with our hands and our mouth, but with the way that we live, our actions, and the way that we live out our purpose. And so I'm going to be really going deep into that, and I'm really excited. Thanks, Tasha. It's Quality Inn in Georgetown, Delaware at 3 p.m. So let's hop in. We're going to hop in. I have a lot to talk about tonight, guys, and I'm super excited about it. And let me turn my phone off because I thought I did that, and apparently I didn't because it just rang. Let me take care of that. And we are ready to go. All right. Tonight, I said this before, success is a team sport. You cannot be successful in life unless you have a group of people in your life that can help you get to the place that God has called you to be. And so you just can't do it alone. This is one of the reasons why I am so passionate about coaching and training people, because I know it takes people who are like-minded, people who are really interested and invested in you doing amazing things in this earth, living out your purpose to really help you get there. And the truth is, we don't always have a lot of people in our life who really can push us there. And it's not because they don't want to. Sometimes they just don't have the ability to. And it's just what it is, right? And so what we're going to talk about is talk about destiny connectors. So I want you to comment for me. If you are somebody who, like, you're serious about moving forward, you're moving forward in some things this year, you're accomplishing some goals, launching some things, whether it's ministry, business, changing careers, whatever it might be. When those things happen in your life and you're really moving, do you ever experience like an uptick in like challenges or obstacles? Comment and let me know if that's you. Like, I'm moving, I'm trying to get things done, and like everything seems to go wrong. All hell breaks loose, people going off, and everything seems to try to distract you and pull you away from what you're trying to accomplish. Is that anybody on here? Has anybody experienced that besides me? Just want to know, make sure I'm in the right place. Because I've noticed that when we are really focused, hey, Margie, yes, when we're really focused on moving forward, it seems, as my dad would say, all hell breaks loose, right? And I want to talk about that because the truth is, guys, listen, the truth is that when you're in these moments, these seasons of moving forward and flowing, you need people to help you when you cannot stand on your own 2 feet sometimes. Sometimes you're just tired. Like, type some words in. When you're going through this, I know for me it's exhaustion. I feel totally mentally and emotionally exhausted. You know, is any other words that you guys can think of that you feel when this stuff is going on and it's like you're trying to forge this past? It's like you're walking through concrete sometime. And you just get exhausted or overwhelmed. Let me know how you feel when these things happen. And I want to talk about that. So here's the deal. The last 2 weeks, my life it's just been rough. And I have several speaking engagements over the next couple weeks. And so I expect like things to happen because that's what happens. But the last 2 weeks have been particularly challenging. Weary, yes, God knows, have been particularly challenging. And I have had to call on my destiny connectors more than I think I had probably the whole month. And so I felt like I wanted to share this with you because I want you, right, if you are serious about moving forward in your purpose, serious about knocking out some big goals, serious about making an impact or making, income goals, it don't matter what it is, you need your destiny connector. So I want to talk about 3 groups of people that can help move you towards your destiny. Now, my dad would always say there are 2 types of people in your life, those pushing you towards your destiny or those pulling you away from your destiny. Tonight, we're going to talk about those pushing you towards your destiny. And I'm going to identify 3 groups of people that I've noticed in my life, exhausted, overwhelmed, discouraged, disconnected. These are some really good words. Sherry says exhausted and overwhelmed. Yes. Tasha says discouraged. Oh, my Lord. Yes. I know what you're talking about. So I want to talk about 3 groups of people. The first group, all right, is what I call partners. Everybody needs to have partners. So who are partners? Partners are people in your life, right, that are invested in you. They're invested in you. They remind you of what you're called to do, who you are, who the truth, not what you did, but they remind you of who you are, right? They're invested. They hold you accountable. And guess what, guys? They're invested in your profit and they share in your loss. Right? Like business, like if you had a business partner and you're investing in a business, you invest in those, you share in the expenses, you share in the profits, but you also share in the losses. And so when you have partners in your life, when you ache, they ache. Sometimes they know it before you even know it, right? They're checking on you. They're invested in you. They're the ones who are taking your calls late at night. They're the ones who are sending you a text message. Hey, I'm checking on you. Don't give up. What's going on? How can I support you? How can I hold your arms up? Let me give you an example. In the Old Testament, Moses, who was a forefather kind of one of the first kind of fathers of faith, if you will, before Abraham. So after Abraham, Moses had a big call on his life to take a whole bunch of people to a promised land, to a land that was promised to them. And he had 2 people while they were battling, things were happening. He had 2 people literally holding his arms up because as long as his arms were held up, right? They won the battle. But when his arms fell, they lost the battle, right? And so he had two people called Aaron and Hur who were holding up his arms so he could win. The truth is, guys, when you have partners in your life that hold up your arms, not only are you winning and the two people who are holding you winning, but the people you're called to serve are winning. Because when you're not showing up and you're discouraged and discouraged, disconnected were some of the other words, weary, exhausted, overwhelmed, nobody's winning like that. So you need an Aaron and a Hur in your life to hold your arms up. Tasha, who's on who's on our live, Taronda's one of those people who hold me up when I'm really struggling. You know, those people are also the people that can handle your rawness. They can handle you when you're struggling. Right? They can understand what it is for you to be weary and for you to cry, where everybody's not able to handle that part of you. Doesn't make it's not a bad thing. Everybody can't handle it. Everybody's just not called to it. They're not designed for it, destined to it. And so I want you to be clear. Know who your partners are and don't confuse them with this next level, which are your advocates. I call them advocates. I used to be an advocate. I'm still an advocate, actually, for social justice, things that are right. I'm all about things, justice is big to me. But one of the things about being an advocate is you're fighting for people. You may not always be in their inner circle. So, for instance, when I was working for an organization, I wasn't a part of the community because I was of a different ethnicity or a different race, right? But I was still advocating and fighting for them. I couldn't be in the inner circle the same way other people were, but I was an ally. And so these advocates are coming alongside you, right? And they are your perpetual encourager. There's somebody on this live now, I'm not going to mention her name, but she'll know who she is when I say it, who over the last 2 weeks have sent me some really long, encouraging text messages. And you have no idea that when they were sent, it was right when I needed it. Right. And so we don't have a tight relationship. We've connected recently, but she's a perpetual encourager. Like, she's been encouraging me, and those encouraging notes and things just reminding me, this is a blessing to me. This is helping me continue. I want to support you. I'm going to do my best to support you. That reminds me, I'm called to this. I'm called to this. And so you need advocates in your life, those who are allies, right? They are with you. They are for you. But they're not necessarily called to your inner circle. They can't handle everything, right? And it doesn't mean that they won't be in your inner circle, but everybody's called to you at different levels. And here's the thing. It doesn't make one better or worse. It just makes them different. Everybody has a different call, a different season, all of that. So you've got to be able to identify and discern who has God placed in your life in this season to be your partner, right? This person is reminding you and holding you accountable, fighting with you, losing with you, winning with you, pushing you, not letting you stop. And then you have those who are allies or advocates who's reminding you of who you are and cheering you on every step of the way. And the third group of people that we have, listen, y'all, you might be surprised by this one. The third group that we have are adversaries. Yes, adversaries push you towards your purpose. I know that might sound crazy, but it's true, right? So here's what I realized. The reason that I'm in the space that I am right now, the reason I'm a full-time entrepreneur, the reason that I am pushing forward, and I'm talking about, y'all, I'm going crazy in my purpose. I am determined. I'm sick of the devil and everything he's been trying to do. I'm over it and I'm not playing. Y'all, I'm so serious, right? But the reason I'm even in this position, because there was an adversary that pushed me here. It was wrong. What they did to me was wrong. It was just all wrong. And I was angry. But what I realized was the anger that I had, and I held on to that thing for a minute. I had to work through that because I was betrayed. I was betrayed by someone that I trusted and that I shared confidential things with, and they betrayed me, right? But what I realized was the adversary, and this is a person, hear me, an adversary is a person who actively opposes or is hostile to the work that God is doing in you. And sometimes they don't even know it. They don't even know why they're hostile to you. But it's the God that's in you, the light that's in you, that is really, really blinding them. And so here's what I heard someone say. The sun shines, and it doesn't care who it blinds. The sun is not putting on sunshades or hiding because you ain't got no sunscreen on or you're not prepared for the sun. The sun just shines. And what happens with a lot of us is we just shine. And as a result of us just shining, it's intimidating to people. And so we have a tendency to want to shrink back so that, we can be comfortable. They can be comfortable. We don't feel rejected. It's time out for that. There are people who need what we have, and we have a responsibility and an obligation to give it to them, no matter what. And so what I realized in a conversation with this person who betrayed me, I realized, you know what? I either have to shrink back so they're comfortable, or I can stand in who I am and show up and shine bright and do what I'm called to do. Now, here's the deal. There's a consequence. There's a consequence if you show up and be who you are, and there's a consequence if you shrink back. So you might as well show up and be who you are, because either way, there's going to be a consequence. You're going to be miserable trying to be somebody that you're not, or you're going to be maligned being somebody that you are. So guess what? I'd rather be who I am, move towards where I'm supposed to be, because the adversary who's betraying me, right, who's doing these things to me, is really pushing me to pursue my purpose harder than ever. Because here's the deal. You only want to darken something that is shining light on something that you don't want to see. Sometimes you are shining light in people's lives and they don't want to see what's happening there. They don't want to recognize that they're not, up to par in certain areas. And your presence, your mere presence, just makes them aware of that. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Let me tell you something. Just enjoy being you. That's one thing I'm learning. I'm enjoying being me. And so your adversary is not just against you. You can't even take that thing personal. Can't take it personal, right? Joy says, choose a consequence of being who I am every time. I know that's right. Because there is a consequence. And I've learned, listen to me, people. Listen, my fellow flowers. Listen to me. When you choose to shrink back in who you are denying the very God that is in you, because you're saying, I cannot show up strong. I cannot show up in the gifting that you've given me. I am going to deny who I am for the sake of mankind. No. We don't do that. That's not who we are. That's not what we do. That's just not what we do. And so the adversary is, they're an adversary because it's a deliberate attack, and it's a constant attack. It's continually happening. And guess what, guys? You can't change them. You can't change those people. Sometimes, honestly, God has placed them into your life so that you can know who he is. You can know the characteristics of God in your life. And so there are certain characteristics of God that I didn't know in a way that I needed to know until this adversary did what they did to me. Right now, here's the thing. It doesn't justify the wrong. And God is my defender. And I believe God will vindicate me in the way that he sees fit. It doesn't justify their wrong, but I can't hold on to it. You can't hold on to it. You have to recognize adversaries are necessary to catapult you into the things that God has called you to do. Don't be angry about it. Well, I take that back. You might be angry for a minute. Don't be angry, but sin not, as the Bible says. Be angry, work through those emotions. I had to work through them. I went to therapy. I had to work through that stuff, talk to people, and I got over it, and I'm moving. And I'm grateful that God has graced me through it. All right. So we have our partners, we have our advocates and allies, and we have our adversaries. All three of those groups help push you towards your purpose. I love what Sherry said. I love this. I'm going to put some comments up on the screen because y'all got some good stuff. Some good stuff. So I'm going to put some comments up on this screen. Yes, I love what Missy said. Ooh, I love it, Tammy. That was a spiritual fact. My dad used to say that all the time. Yes, I love this. What Sherry says, grateful for adversaries. Yes, this is good stuff. Boy, I'm getting encouraged tonight. It's all over the screen. Comments all over the screen. We no longer shrink back. Yeah, so here's what I want you to do. Oh, yes, this is me right here. I love it, Taronda. Sick of the devil. I can't stand him either. So here's the deal. Here's what I want you to do. Here's your call to action. Here's your call to action. So here's what you need to do for the next, as we move into these last 63 days of the year, as you're moving towards what God is calling you to do, right? I want you to identify who are your partners, who are your advocates and allies, and who are your adversaries. You need to identify them, and you need to be clear. You need to be very clear who they are. All right. And here's what I want you to do. Your partners and your advocates, particularly your partners. Let me talk about them first. They need to be reminded that you love them. Just send whoever in your life is a partner who's been holding you down, who's been doing, really invested in you and been helping you in this season of life. Tell them thank you. Send them a text, inbox them. write them a note, email them, and just say, hey, I want to say thank you so much for holding me down. Thank you so much for partnering with me in the work God is calling me to do, because without you, I would not be able to do this. It is strength that God has given me through the gift of you that is helping me move forward in my purpose. So love on them. Go love on them. Go love on them. For your advocates, same thing. Shoot them a text and tell them, hey, I know we may not talk all the time. I know we may not be, buddy all the time. But let me tell you, every text message, every time that you send me something to say, I'm proud of you, or any of that, it encourages me. So I'm going to do a little bit of that now. To my girl Tasha, thank you for holding me down. And to Rhonda, oh my God, for encouraging me and whipping my behind when I need it. And to Margie, who's my coach, helping me. Oh, Miss Joyce, I love Miss Joyce. She is definitely an ally in my life and an advocate for me, a perpetual encourager. So thank you, Miss Joyce. Missy, Melissa Carr has been, oh my God, you have just been such an encouragement to me. And I know I'm going to miss somebody. I'm just looking at names now, but I want to say that because I want you to do that. It encourages people when you encourage them. All right. So do some homework, encourage some people. Now, listen to me. Your adversaries. Here's what I want you to do with your adversaries. I want you to intentionally pray for them. Intentionally pray for them. Pray for the best. Pray for God to soften their heart. When people are really opposing the work of God in you, let me tell you something. It's going to be worse for them than it is for you, because they are not just opposing the work. They are opposing God. Let me tell you how I know. In the book of Acts, Saul, who used to be Paul, who used to be Saul, he used to kill Christians for a living. That was his job, right? He was converted to Christianity. And when he was converted, the way that it happened, he was walking down this road and he was blinded. And the Lord spoke to him and said, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Well, Saul was persecuting the church. And he was seeing it as persecuting people, not God. But God said to him, why are you persecuting me? So understand, when people are persecuting you, they are persecuting the God in you. And God can always fight your battles better than you can, baby. I promise you that. And so pray for them, because they need help. They need someone. There's something in their soul that is just off. They need prayer. They need healing. They've probably been through some trauma. Be gracious towards them. Pray for them and then forgive them. Forgive them. In the Bible, again, Stephen was stoned by his own people, by the Jews, right? And when Stephen was being stoned, he looked to heaven and he told God, same thing Christ did, forgive them. Because when you are with the Lord, when you are in Christ, Lord have mercy. When you are in Christ, you are protected. He takes care of his own. You're the apple of his eye. He's always protecting that. All right. And so I want you to pray for your adversaries, and I want you to love on your allies, your advocates, and your partners. So yeah, guys, that's what I want to share with you tonight. I hope it's helpful. Listen to me. God has designed you. I want to encourage you real quick. He's designed you to do great work. I'm telling you, I know it. I know it because he's called me to encourage you. He's called me to this work. And if I am called to support you or be your advocate or be your ally or to be your partner, right? I want to make sure that I am doing that. And I want to remind you that you have a great work to do in this earth, and it cannot get done by anybody like it can get done by you. Do you hear me? I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how you feel. Whenever you're feeling discouraged, just pop this live on and remember, just, fast forward all the way to 23 minutes and hear me tell you this. You are called to the work God's called you to do. You were designed for it. He's developing you for it. Okay. You are dedicated to it, whether you know it or not. He has designed you for this. Pressure creates diamonds. You need the pressure to become everything God is calling you to be. And I am here for you. So for those who I'm supposed to be just encouraging, join the Flow Tribe. It's free. Let me encourage you weekly. Go to monicaspate.com. If you think I'm supposed to partner with you, join Flow 2.0, our monthly coaching community, where I'm going to be going deep with people and helping them move towards their purpose. Y'all, I am so passionate about kingdom work in the earth. I am so passionate about it because God's called all of us to do something amazing for him, and I want to see us do it. So are there any questions or comments? Thanks, Missy says this message was for me. Sherry says you are a blessing in my life. Girl, thank you. I'm so glad I got a chance to meet you. Tammy, this is very helpful. Thank you for being obedient to the Spirit. Thank you for listening, because if y'all wasn't here, I ain't got nobody to talk to. You do know that, right? I love what Tasha said. Forgiveness is a choice. I love this, guys. Look, When I pray for them, I don't get caught up in my feelings. I don't have time for pity when I'm praying. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. It's true. You can't be pity and praying at the same time. I love that. Oh my God, that was amazing. Intentionally pray for your adversary. Appreciate your advocates and love on them. Forgiveness is a choice. Any questions? Any questions you guys have that I can answer for you about how to engage with people who are kind of treating you like they shouldn't be treating you, or even those who are in your life you want to partner with? Because one of the things you definitely want to do is cultivate those partnerships. I'm going to do a different Facebook Live on this, is how to cultivate those partnerships. And I'm going to talk about the levels, because each one of these categories, they have levels. There are different levels of partnerships in your life. And so I'm going to be, thanks. I'm sorry. Miss Joyce just wrote, I'm so proud of you, Monica. Both of your fathers and father is smiling. I appreciate that. Oh, gosh, I'm not going to cry on this live. But yeah, you have to cultivate that. So what I'm going to do is next week, next week there is no live, because I'm going to be in Ocean City with my ladies of Woodstream Church. And I'm going to be keynoting for them for 3 days for their women's conference. I'm really excited about that. And then the following week, I'm going to talk to you about partnerships, the type of partners you need in your life to propel you to that next level. Any other questions before I close? So here's the last thing that I'm going to say. When you have the right people in your life, it accelerates your success. If you're trying to do this on your own without the right people in your life, it takes a lot longer. So you need to be aware of that. So find your partners. Definitely find your partners. And sometimes you got to pay for partnerships. I paid a coach to help me with my membership community. We become we're sisters in the body anyway, but we've just been connected. And so she's been such a blessing to me. It was worth every penny. It was worth every penny after the first call. And so sometimes you got to invest in yourself if you're trying to get to that next level. And so, guys, anything that I can do for you. Hold on. I have a question. What if the adversary is a close family member and you have to be in contact with them? Oh, that's a good one. Let me tell you this. If you have a family member who is an adversary, right? The first thing is you pray for them. You constantly pray for them. That's the number one thing. And while you're in relationship with them, you don't allow the enemy, the spirit of the enemy in them, to make you come out of your character. It is your godliness that's going to begin to melt that person if they're open to it. But if you can avoid being in contact, you can control how you engage with them and your response to them. Period. I'm gonna give you an example. When Jesus was in the wilderness and the enemy was tempting him, he was in close contact with him. Jesus fasted 40 days and here comes the enemy and he's talking and taunting and taunting. And what Christ did was use the word of God against the enemy. And that's what you have to do. There's no other way. You love on them. You pray for them. You continually forgive them over and over again. And you watch God do the work. Was that helpful? All right. This was good to me. I think I encouraged myself. Well, listen, we're at 27, almost 28 minutes. Guys, let me tell you, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. Thank you for flowing in your divine purpose, because every one of us need each other. And so I am praying for you. I pray for my community. I'm praying for you. I am praying God's strength. I'm praying God's peace. And most of all, I'm praying for the Holy Spirit flow in your life. All right, guys, until next time, as I always say, stay in your flow. Good night. All right, I got to figure out how to end this. How about that? Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to end it yet, because somebody asked me, what if you thought they were, let me see the comment again. What if you thought they were a partner, but they were an adversary? Ooh, what if you thought they were a partner, but they were an adversary? So this is going to go into next week, but let me just say this. If you have a person in your life that you think is a partner that's actually an adversary, you have actually I won't say diagnosed, you've actually missed the mark. because an adversary is against God and his work. And so if there's a partner in your life who does not have any reverence for the God that you serve, reverence for the faith and the values that you have, they are not your partner to begin with. And so that means there was a misstep in the beginning, in that the way that you chose that person was based on emotions and not based on the spirit. So our emotions, we're going to talk about this on Saturday, but our soul can't make decisions for us if our soul is not renewed, meaning our mind, our will, our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings. That's all our soulish realm. Our spirit, the spirit of God in us, if we're a believer, should be making decisions for us. It should be informing our soul. So if you thought a partner and they become an adversary, they probably were already in that category to begin with. And so it's important that you discern the people that are in your life. And if they don't have any reverence for the God that you serve, they're not going to have reverence for the work that God is calling you to do, period. And so there are some qualifying questions on that. We can get into that in our next slide. But Tasha, thank you for that, because I'm going to definitely go deeper when we talk about the type of partnerships that we need to have. And you know what? I might have Tasha on. I'm putting you on the spot. And I might actually do a live with her, an interview, because she did the power of partnerships in one of her summer series. So Tasha, we should get together and let us have a live, and we can actually do a teaching on Facebook Live. So yes, that's what I would say. So make sure you're discerning relationships by the Spirit and not by your soulish realm that's not renewed by the Spirit of God. All right. Okay. So this time I'm going for real, but thank you again for joining me. I love each and every one of you. And I just so appreciate, y'all. I so appreciate y'all. All right. So until next time, guys, stay in your flow.